All right, so now comparing strings. So there are two operators we can use to compare string variables. We can use the double equals and we can use the not equal to compare the strings, okay? So let's say just this block right here, string text assigned with hello, and then we assign one variable to another one. And if we test them, the result will be true. But we are actually comparing addresses. Okay, since we assigned the value of one variable to another one, so now both variables point to the same address in the memory. So of course, they have the same value. Okay, they point to the same value because we assigned one variable to another. And when comparing strings, we cannot use greater than, less than, or greater than or equal operators. Okay, we only can use equal or not equal. And as we studied in the last lesson about strings, two blocks of memory are used to store strings. One block stores the text itself right here, so the G5, and the second block stores the address of the first block. So right here we have the string str and all these four blocks just to point the address G5 that it is the address of the first block of the text. Okay. Of course, this is just a simple representation that is not exactly how it is structured in the computer memory. This is just a simple representation to so you can better understand. All right. So here comparing strings using the equals or not equals operators. But actually the best way to compare strings it is using the equals method. Equals like the word equals. Okay. And this is just because of the equal or not equal, it is used just for the primitive data types. So we can compare ints, we can compare doubles, we can compare booleans. There is no problem. But since string, it is not a primitive type, so we call it a reference type, not a value type. We are going to study about this nomenclature in some following questions. Some following lessons. Like I think the 10th lesson, we are going to study about these value types or reference types. Okay, so we are going to recall this discussion again. But for reference types like strings or all the others that are not primitive types, we should use the equals method. Okay, so how can we do that? Let's say this right simple example right here. I'm going to delete everything. So string s1, it is the hello like this, and then we have the string s2. Oops. Okay, better. Like this, and now we have the string s3. It is s1 to uppercase. Okay, and now the output. So s1 equals to s2, s s1 to s3, and s2 to s3. Okay. So right here, what do we have? Actually, it seems really similar, hello and hello, but when we run this, we should get false because we have differences. We have just H in uppercase and all the other letters in lowercase. Okay, so sometimes this is called title case. And right here we have everything in uppercase, so it is actually different. All right, so, and then we have S1 to S3, so they are also different. And S2 to S3, right here, we are going to get hello, so it is the same. So we should get true as a result. And now running this. All right. False, false, and true. So what if I want to say that S1 and S2 are equals? So they are actually the same word, hello. It sounds the same. The only difference it is about the cases, like uppercase, lowercase. And I want to say, okay, for me, it is the same. So what should I do right here? It is to call another really similar method that it is not the equals, but the equals ignore case. I am saying, okay, so the only difference is the case. It is the same word, but just changing the case. All right, so that's fine. It is the same. Okay, so equals ignore case. So it should be true. If I run this, and now I have false, false, and true, true. So here I get true. All right. Okay. So just explaining a little better. So understand the nuance of string comparison. So if the Java compile finds multiple identical strings in your code, specifically in your code, then it will create only a single object for them in order to save memory. Okay, so if we have exactly the same memory, it is going to be stored in the same address. Okay, so here we declared two different variables with the same content. So Java internally stores in the same address, and both of the variables just point to that address. Okay, this is a really interesting fact, just for your better learning. All right, and finally now the example I mentioned it before. Okay, so imagine that we have a string greeting, and I want to say hello and something else like hello, good morning, or hello, good evening. Okay, based on the current hour or a given hour. Okay, I want to say hello and something. So how should we do? So let's say the current hour it is 19, which it is actually is right now. And we are going to consider 0 to 11 as morning, 12 to 18, actually to 17, we're going to consider afternoon, and 18 to 23, evening. All right. Okay. So what we're going to do is to use the if statement and say if hour it is greater equal 0 and hour less than 12 or less than equal 11 to be more precise. So we should say let's put right here. So stream time, and time is going to be morning. So the same, else if now we have hour, it is greater than or equal 12, and hour, it is less than equal 17. So time is going to be afternoon. And finally, else, time, evening. All right. Okay. Or actually, we should put like 1823 since we define it right here, time evening. And now our output is going to be greeting plus time. Oh, okay, I need to define a default case. All right. So here I am assigning a variable inside of the if statement. And also I could say Boolean if it is still during the day, or let's say is business hours. Okay. And let's say it starts with false because we need to define a initial value. Or I could just, actually business hour is not a good example, or let's say it's night. It's easier. And the only case it is right here. So is night would be true. It is a red. We could put like this. So if is night, so time to sleep. Okay. So here, what we get? We have the greeting, hello. We have the current hour or any given hour. And then we have the assignment of the time variable based on the evaluation of all of those expressions. So we have if hour greater than or equal 0 and hour less than or equal 11, it is morning, and so on, afternoon, and everything. And here we have the Boolean variable being assigned inside of an if statement, okay? And of course, each of these blocks, it could have anything inside. We could have another if statements, we could have another expressions, we could have a lot of different things. And right here, we have the use of the assigned variable Boolean, okay? The Boolean variable. So right here, if is night, and then we have right here, okay? So since it is evening and time to sleep, this is all for today. I hope that you have liked it. Please let me know if you have any questions. And for those who are actually um, the next day, the Saturday, but it is still like the first hours in the morning. Thank you very much for being here. All right. There's a question on the chat about can we declare a Boolean within the if statement? Yes, we could do like this. All right. But what happens when we do this, it is everything that we declare inside of a block, it is valid only inside the block. So I moved this variable to inside this left block. So I cannot refer right here to the variable because it was declared inside of the block. So I can only refer to this variable inside of the same block. So it should be like this. Okay, so actually moving everything to here. So now it is correct. And the output would be switch it. Oops, sorry. It should be true right here. So night, it is true. It's night. Okay, now it is correct. Okay, so this is the difference. So here we declared outside and assigned inside. So we can refer to the variable outside of the block because it was declared right here up. If we declare inside, we only can use that variable inside of the same block. If we try to reach that variable outside, it will not be available. Okay,